Every year, Minnesota's loons born in the summer migrate all the way down to the Gulf, often all the way to Florida. But one Florida resident's encounter with a Minnesota loon proved to be extra meaningful. Sammy Selena has the story.
Mornings can be calm and peaceful.
This bird's acting alert like it sees another.
But for Minnesota's state bird,
It's looking like there's some territorial instability in here.
it's the time of day to dive into battle.
That's probably an intruder coming in to try to establish a territory.
Walter Piper is a biologist based in California, studying the loons in Minnesota for the Loon Project.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting.
I've never seen this before.
His researchers here in the Cross Lake area are in for a treat because it's rare when a pair of loons challenges another pair.
That's part of the excitement of studying loons, is you never know what's going to happen.
But despite the aggression,
But it's not going to happen without a tussle.
Terry Raymer, a volunteer, knows this couple are proven loving parents.
The baby.
We got a call late at night.
She and her husband, Richard, volunteer with the Minnesota Loon Rescue and were called to host a chick for the night.
You always want to find parents that have at least one chick.
And then try and find a pair to adopt it.
If it didn't have any chicks, it might kill it because it's not theirs. Also, if it has 2 chicks, you don't want anything to do with it because 3 chicks would be too much to feed.
Look at that.
They found willing parents on none other than Loon Lake.
Are they feeding it already? Oh my gosh.
But that didn't mean the chick's future was secure. The Loon Project's research shows young loons' survival rate is plummeting.
And it's such a sustained and long-term pattern that we can say now confidently that there's been a substantial die-off of these young adults, of these important future breeders.
So you can imagine Terry's excitement
I couldn't believe it. I got chills when Piper told me about that.
when she got an update.
Yeah, so that juvenile made it to Florida.
Then it started coming closer and closer to me in the waters.
Amy Kramer Tribley, a Sarasota, Florida resident, encountered the little one on a walk.
Saw that it had these like bracelets, I thought, on its legs. And I didn't know what it was, so I took a picture.
Piper's team bans birds so they can identify and track it throughout its life.
I felt like I'd received like a message in a bottle when this bird came into my life.
The adopted bird is still too young to come back to Minnesota.
It was a great, source of great rejoicing that this fostered chick was out on its own.
Okay, please, God, take care of them.
But the hope is that once orphaned baby
Okay, girl. Now it's up to you.
will be strong enough to return
Oh, right there.
to fight its own battles. Sammy Solina, KARE 11 News.
That is incredible. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Walter Piper's research with the Loon Project, we have a full story on KARE11.com.